the Madras Tax Bar and learned brothers, Mr. Srinivas, Mr. V.S. Jagmar, and all other learned brothers and sisters who have been in associate with this program, webinar, seminar, webinar. Now, the topic that was chosen is Section 89 Supreme Court judgment on the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, namely arbitration, conciliation, judicial settlement, adalat, and mediation, as appropriate dispute resolution mechanisms. Now you will find a brief dwelling into the history of the decision making in India. You can view from the days of Karigala Cholan. The king was doing the dual job of administering the justice as well as ruling the particular nation, particular, his kingdom. Now, you would have seen, you would have studied the history that he was only a 16-year-old boy who was there in the crown, and when he was holding the trial, he used to wear a white wig on his head to appear as though he is an old man. After he concludes the hearing, he used to remove it and restore his position as king. That way, we will find justice delivery system started in a very unique way. Then you found Tamil poet Avayar had a unique role in solving and arresting and avoiding war between Sela, Chola, Pandya Rajas. The war was very much imminent. They were ready to fight and shed blood, but Avayar intervened. That way we saw in the history how peacemaking was also attempted successfully also. Now, let us go to the provisions of Arbitration Act. The Arbitration Act was originally enacted in 1899. That Arbitration Act was repealed and 1940 Arbitration Act was enacted. The defect in 1940 Arbitration Act was that in order to enforce the award of arbitration, the intervention of the court was necessary. Now, what happened thereafter? Constitution got amended in 1992. A resolution was passed by state chief ministers, Chief Justice of India, Prime Minister of the country, Law Minister, and they were finding a solution to see that the long pendency of cases to have a redressal by adopting alternative dispute resolution machinery. So they have repealed Arbitration Act 1940 by enacting a new act in 1996. That was the landmark of the alternative dispute resolution machinery in India. Now we will find that was simultaneously viewed by the Parliament by activating Section 89 CPC. Section 89 CPC was not in the book for a long time. Therefore, Section 89 was revived by amendment of 1999, 46 of 1999, but it was given effective on 1st July 2002. Now, if you consider this background, how the Section 89 was enacted and reintroduced into the book, you will find disputes started coming. Now, the first case went to the Supreme Court was Salem Bar Association case in 2002. They found, lawyers as we are, that Section 89 providing for machinery of alternative dispute mechanism is not happy. It is infringing the regular justice delivery system, and they wanted to challenge the constitutional validity of Section 89. You know, when the case was about to be heard, the advocates withdrew the case. And the constitutional bench said, all right, let the rules be framed as to how the section 89 to be invoked and applied into practical area. That was the judgment of first Salem Bar. Then in 2005, second Salem Bar Association case. In between, what happened was the issue of interpretation of section 89 was very much found unhappily by the courts of law. 89, if you have statute book section 89 CPC before you, you will find 89 where it appears to the court that there exist elements of a settlement which may be acceptable to the parties. The court shall formulate the terms of settlement and give them to the parties for their observations, and after receiving the observations of the parties, the court may reframe the terms of a possible settlement and refer the same for A, arbitration, B, conciliation, C, judicial settlement, including settlement through local adalat, or D, mediation. Now, that was 89.1. Now, the section 89.2 is also there. Then you will find there was a dilemma in the mind of the advocates who argued the case. That case was second Salem Bar. You know, if the court which wants to refer the case to the alternative dispute mechanism, to arbitration, conciliation, or judicial settlement, etc., the court had a particular handicap of making a long exercise of the terms of settlement, bringing to the notice of the parties, take their observations, then come back to the parties, and then make a reference to the arbitrator at the concerned forum. The parties. Then, what remains to be done in the hands of the forum concerned? That was the difficulty faced in the second bar, Salem Bar Association. But the court did not take notice of all these things. The court simply answered by saying, let the referral court give a summary of the facts of the case and then make a reference. The matter ended, and then Justice Jagannath Rao, Honorable Retired Judge of the Supreme Court, was appointed as a committee to formulate the rules as to how the implementation could be done. A real answer came in the case of Afghan infrastructure. That is the judgment reported in 2008 SEC, page 24. That particular, it's a landmark case on the alternative dispute mechanism in India. Afghan Infrastructure Limited and another versus Syrian RK Construction Company Private Limited and other. It was decided on 26/7/2010. Now, what happened in that particular case was the second respondent, Cochin Port Trust. Little dwelling is necessary as to the facts of the case, the landmark case. That's why I discussed the case with you. It entrusted work of construction of bridges and road to the appellant Afghan under an agreement. Then the appellant subcontracted the part of the work to the first respondent under an agreement containing no provision for reference to disputes to arbitration. The first respondent sued the appellant for recovery of amount from appellant, and the assessed or the amount due to the appellant from employer with interest. An attachment order was passed in the suit. The first respondent moved the trial court under section 89 to formulate the terms of settlement and refer the matter to arbitration. The appellant filed a counter against the appellant. Now, The appellant moved to Kerala High Court, challenging the attachment order passed by the trial court. The High Court passed the order lifting attachment and imposed certain conditions. The High Court directed the trial court to dispose of application filed by the first respondent under Section 89 CPC. The trial court passed a reasoned order by saying one party alone was agreeable for arbitration and referred the dispute to arbitration. Then High Court of Kerala was approached by a revision. The High Court of Kerala dismissed the revision by holding that even an unwilling party in an appropriate case could ask for reference to arbitration, and that the concept of pre-existing agreement of arbitration, which was necessary for reference to arbitration under the Arbitration Conciliation Act 1996, was inapplicable to references under Section 89 CPC. Now, at this juncture, I told you about the birth of 1996 Arbitration Act. By 1996 Arbitration Act, the difficulties faced in 1940 Act were removed. Namely, to enforce the award, one need not go to court. Once a reference to arbitration is made, the court gets itself detached and the entire matter file goes to the court only. I mean, arbitration only, arbitrator only. The court has no control about it. What happens thereafter is the adjudication process by the arbitral tribunal. Now, Supreme Court in that Afghan case was faced with the main two questions. First question was, what is the procedure to be followed by a court in implementing Section 89 and Order 10, Rule 1, capital A of the Code of CPC? Then, question number 2, whether consent of all the parties to the suit is necessary for reference to arbitration under Section 89. How the Supreme Court approach was, it approached, gave some proposition of law numbering to 10, propositions. The first one was, there was a defective drafting of the provisions of Section 89.1 and 89.2 of the CPC. You look at the 89.1, 89.2, the object is laudable, sound, and resort to alternative resolution process is necessary to give a speedy and effective relief by reducing pendency in and burden upon the court. The mix-up of the definition of judicial settlement mediation is an error in drafting, resulting in the two words being interchanged in classes C and D. If you look into class C, judicial settlement including settlement through Lok Adalat, 89C, and 89D, mediation. That lacuna was very much evident by looking into subsection 2 of Section 89. 89 you will find 89C, where a dispute has been referred for judicial settlement, the court shall refer the same to a suitable institution or person, and such institution or person shall be deemed to be a Lok Adalat, and all the provisions of the Legal Service Authority Act 1987 shall apply as if the dispute are referred to a Lok Adalat under the provisions of that Act. Now, the word judicial settlement is wrongly provided by the Parliament. Instead of the judicial settlement word, which is found in class D, mediation, if that mediation is inserted into class C for judicial settlement, you read it. Now, where the dispute has been referred to mediation, the court shall refer the same to a suitable institution or person, and such institution or person shall be deemed to be a Lok Adalat, and all the provisions of the Legal Service Authority 1987 Act shall apply if the dispute is referred to a Lok Adalat. That would be perfectly valid. Coming to class D, the Supreme Court held that the word mediation is wrongly mentioned. You insert the word judicial settlement in class D and read it. Now read back, where a dispute has been referred for judicial settlement instead of the word mediation, the court shall effect a compromise between the parties and shall follow such procedure as may be prescribed. Now, if you interchange the class C and D, the Supreme Court said the workable position will be resulted if so long as the parliament has not amended, our guidance will be in force. If and when parliament makes amendment, the amendment will apply. So far till today, parliament has not amended and accepted the guidelines of the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, you will find one more reason for the Supreme Court to hold that interchanging of the judicial settlement and mediation is necessary. And also, summarizing of the formulation of terms and settlement as deduced in the second Salem Bar Association. The Supreme Court has feeling that if a referral court is asked to do all exercise except the final stage, that is making a observation, this is a prima facie case, settlement is possible in this case, then I refer these matters, these observations to you, both the parties, you give your observations. Now the terms and conditions of settlement is this, you approve. Now the parties are given hearing and the referral court gets back the parties' observations and then reformulate the terms of settlement and then refer to arbitration, conciliation and other mechanisms. Then the Supreme Court says, what is left at the hands of the forum? All main dealings are done by the referral court itself, then making the forum unworkable. Therefore, Honorable Supreme Court said, this kind of wording, the interpretation adopted by Supreme Court therein was purposive interpretation. The Supreme Court said, normally we will strike down the provisions, but when we are aware of the purpose of the enactment, we don't want to strike the provisions, but we will interpret with, the particular provisions with the purpose of the enactment, and then we will confine the job of the referral court only to the extent of finding out the terms of settlement prima facie, and then refer to the alternative dispute mechanism instead of asking the parties to apply their mind as to the proposal of the referral court and then received back at the hands of the referral court, then make a formulation. Therefore, the Supreme Court held that all these formalities observed in the Act are not necessarily to be done. Earlier also, you will find second Salem Bar Association, the Supreme Court said summary of the case is sufficient. No, that already we have seen. Therefore, formulation and reformulation of terms of settlement in a process carried out at the final stage of a conciliation process. You know, conciliation, we will come to different forms of ADR systems in a little later in our discussion. But we will now go to the principle of law proposition laid down by the Supreme Court in the Afghan case. Now, I will read the very important formulation of the principle. The formulation and reformulation of terms of settlement in a process carried out at the final stage of a conciliation process under Section 73, when the settlement is being arrived at. So, what is required to be done at the final stage of conciliation by a conciliator is borrowed back, lock and barrel in Section 89, wrongly required to formulate that in the terms of settlement and reformulate at a stage prior to reference to on ADR process. Then formulation and reformulation of the terms of settlement by the court is therefore wholly out of place at the stage of pre-ADR reference. It is not possible for a court to perform these acts at a preliminary hearing to decide whether a case should be referred to ADR process, and if so, which ADR process. Then, summary of disputes was decided in the second Salem Bar. The referral court need not make all the exercise. But Section 89 interpreted by Afghan case by interchanging Class C and Class D of Section 89 too. Now, you will find how the Supreme Court further held about the facts of the case with reference to the concerns of the parties for the arbitration, and then what way the case reached in a final stage in the Supreme Court judgment. Now you find the Supreme Court answered the questions referred to as follows. First answer is the trial court did not adopt the proper procedure while enforcing Section 89 and CPC. Section 89 of CPC invocation was not taken note by the trial court. So failure to invoke Section 89 suo motu after completion of pleadings and considering it only after an application under Section 89 was filed is erroneous. A civil court exercising power under Section 89 cannot refer a suit to arbitration unless all the parties to suit agree for such reference. So, the very important aspect is consent for arbitration should have been mentioned, provided in the agreement. The other question was, in Section 30, you will find Section 8 and Section 11 of the Arbitration Act gives power for the arbitration to arbitrator or arbitral tribunal to consider the arbitration. Section 8 and 11, 8 is application file in the court. Section 11, Section 8 is applied to the Section 8 and Section 11 of the Arbitration Act. Section 11 is this provision whereby we approach the court with a claim petition, now asking the court to refer to arbitration. Am I right? With a pre-existing agreement in the arbitration agreement, consent with the agreement. Now the Supreme Court says there was no need under Section 89 for reference to arbitration, unlike Section 11 of the Arbitration Act. In other words, a pre-existing agreement for reference to arbitration is a sine qua non for referring the matter to arbitration. If the parties do not give consent for reference to arbitration, then the arbitration reference is not valid. Now, that way, the Supreme Court has held in Afghan case that in the case of arbitration reference, consent by the parties is mandatory. Without consent, you cannot refer to arbitration. And the Supreme Court further held, very important point is, there was no conflict between Section 8, 11 and Arbitration Act and Section 89 of the Civil Procedure Code. The argument that was placed before the Supreme Court in the Afghan case was that Arbitration Act controls Section 10 or Section 10 supersedes Arbitration Act. No, that argument was not accepted by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says they are entirely different from each other, and Arbitration Act is approached in a different fashion. Section 89 CPC on a different note. Now you will find important aspect in our discussion. We saw that how the alternative dispute resolution was given birth by amending 1999 CPC, bringing back Section 89 CPC. You know, Section 89 CP was sleeping long time in the court. It was removed. It was reinserted by the Amendment 46 of 1999 from 1/7/2002. Until then, Section 89 CPC was not in the statute book at all. Now you find after the introduction of this 1996 Arbitration Act, Section 99, 89 got amended from 1/7/2002. First time in India, our High Court had set up Court Attached Remediation Center. That was inaugurated on 9th of April 2005 by Justice Sabharwal Lordship then was. Only after the uh, introduction of court-attached mediation center in Chennai, Delhi High Court had attached mediation center, court-attached mediation center, just after 15 days, and Justice Lahoti inaugurated that court-attached mediation center. Our father of Indian mediation, Mr. Sriram Panchu, started mediation discussion, mediation seminar, mediation awareness programs, even before the introduction of the CPC in 2002. Then what happened was, first anniversary of the mediation center inauguration, our then president, great Abdul Kalam, was here and presiding the function. And he emphasized the need of Panchayat Raj, which he felt very much useful when he was a student and studying in Rameswaram. And you will find our Tamil Nadu Mediation, High Court Mediation Center recorded a history in 2007. What happened 2006, 27/9/2006. That was a landmark in the mediation history of India. Mediation Center, High Court settled a very large dispute pending for decades together in Standard Motor case. 2,196 workers were without job, without wages, without anything for long waiting for 12 years, and the company had to pay Centric Caritas, secured, unsecured, 70 crores. So Indian Overseas Bank, ICICI Bank, Income Tax, ESI, Provident Fund, everything, the factory remained closed. And then our Honorable High Court judges, Justice Chitra Venkataman and Honorable Justice Ravi Rajapandian, were guiding Sriram Panchu, who was a mediator in that particular case. And please note that the mediation center, High Court Mediation Center, actually helped the company to distribute the entire process of sale of the assets of the company and paid every single due pending law for a long time. And they did not stop with that. They gave 30 lakh donations to our High Court Mediation Center. That way, we have walked all difficult stages. Now you'll find, let us take one after another how the 5 mechanisms are being considered. The first mechanism you'll find is arbitration. Now, in arbitration, you'll find it is referred by the referral court or under section 11 to arbitral tribunal by the court on application by claim petition under section 11 of the Arbitration Act. Now, adjudication system and non-adjudication system is the starting point to understand how ADR system is to function. You know, justice delivery system hello. Sorry for interference. The first system of arbitration. Now we will understand consent of agreement is necessary for referring to arbitration. That is a fundamental position. Then parties are represented by lawyers in arbitration. No direct participation by parties. The award is binding between the parties under the Arbitration Act and by the procedure. It is a quasi-judicial adjudicating ADR process. It is a formal proceeding held in private. Award is subject to challenge on limited grounds. No court fee is payable. After making reference to arbitration, the court gets detached. That is 1996 enactment. Now you will find conciliation. Earlier we saw arbitration. It is also adjudication. It is an adjudication process. Merits of the matter to be gone into, hearings given on the basis of the enactment provisions. The decree is passed by the arbitrator. Award is passed by arbitrator, and it is enforceable under the Arbitration Act. Barring certain previous circumstances, the award stands final. Finality is there. Now, what is meant by conciliation? It is another form of ADR. The conciliation, he is not a facilitator, unlike a mediator. He is making suggestion to the parties, and consent is necessary for reference to conciliation, which is a non-adjudicatory and confidential ADR process. Non-adjudicatory means he is not going to the merits and passing any order, but it is left to the hands of the parties to the conciliation proceeding to arrive at a settlement. Now, the joint agreement arrived at by direct contact of parties with the help of conciliator is governed under the Arbitration Conciliation Act. If there is no settlement, the matter is returned to the court for trial. Now, the third form of ADR system is judicial settlement. It is a judicial settlement process, and this process is not very much in vogue in Indian judicial system. Now, the reference is made to if the court feels that a suggestion or guidance by a judge would be appropriate, it can refer to another judge for dispute resolution. Now, the judge who is referring the matter for judicial settlement, he will post the matter to the another judge to make arrive at a judicial settlement. Supposing there is no settlement, the case will be brought back to the honorable court, but the judge who made the reference will not sit and continue with the hearing of the case because of the principle of natural justice. He might have formed an opinion. He should not be in the mind of his court that something is in his mind, or prejudging in his mind. Therefore, in order to avoid the Supreme Court in the Afghan case, Justice Ravindran, he said that it is better that the judicial settlement matter, the original judge may recuse, and then a new court can be referred. Now, Lok Adalat is another form of ADR method. It is a proceeding of non-adjudicatory in nature. Non-adjudicatory in nature, all of us know, merits and demerits of the matter, and decision by the adjudicating body is not present in Lok Adalat. It is governed under the Legal Service Authorities Act and limited scope of negotiation. Consent is not mandatory for reference. Function of the presiding officer, that is neutral third party, is persuasive. The award passed in the settlement is deemed to be decree not appealable. Now here, the focus is always on the past and also in the present, but not in the future. Confidentiality is not observed in Lok Adalat. Now let us come to mediation. This is a peacemaking process where the ultimate control and ultimate control of the proceedings and ultimate outcome of the proceedings are vested in the hands of the parties. Mediation proceedings are not adjudicatory. Mediation proceedings are voluntary in nature. Mediator role is not of a judge or a decider, but is only a facilitator and helps the parties to evaluate the options. Therefore, if the matter is referred under Section 89 by the court on the ground that the elements of settlement are possible and there are existing in the case, and the court would like to refer the matter to mediation, then the mediator role is not that of an adjudicator. The mediator cannot compel the parties because the parties only have the right of arriving amicable conclusion, amicable agreement. Then consent is not mandatory for reference. If the proceedings of mediation are started, it is not necessary that the parties must agree and then come. One party may come, one party may not come, then the matter will be referred back to the court. But one party consent, but the mediator cannot compel the other party to come to the mediation center. But once the parties come, both parties come to the mediation center, and the matter is being discussed between the parties in the presence of the mediator. Mediator tries to understand the facts of the case and then finds out what is the area of differences and identify the common interest issue between the parties as to the disagreement, and gives a very active listening to them, and then convince that parties that the mediator has understood the facts, feelings, and the mediator would be a great assistance to help them to arrive at an amicable settlement. Now, at the last minute the party can go out of the mediation by saying, I'm not willing. So, therefore, until the agreement is signed by both the parties amicably to them, the parties reserve the right of self-determining right in their hands. Once they enter into agreement jointly settling the dispute amicably, and the matter will be sent back to the court, which will refer the matter with the report matter settled with the signed agreement by the parties. Then the court will give a hearing and then pass order on the terms of settlement agreed by the parties. Now, in the mediation, you will find the focus is on the present and the future and not on the past. It is a structured negotiation assisted process. Parties directly, actively involve themselves and jointly make agreement. Now, that joint agreement entered into amicably settling the dispute by the parties is referred back to the court for passing binding decree in terms of a joint agreement under Order 33, Rule 3, 23, Rule 3 CPC. And no appeal is possible against the decree. Outcome of the process is vested in the hands of the parties. Self-determining right retained by the parties, unlike arbitration. Arbitration matter started, the advocates, the parties argue, parties' presence is not mandatory, but the adjudication process, adjudication, decision making will be made by the arbitral tribunal in arbitration by passing an award by deciding the matter on merits in accordance with the law. But here in mediation, self-determining right is retained by the parties, unlike arbitration. Confidentiality is the essence of mediation. Now you will find the important aspects of mediation, arbitration are found in the recent development of march of law also. You will find the area of mediation is extended to even pre-litigation stage, such as Commercial Courts Act, and also during the process of court proceedings under the Companies Act. And the process of making the law in insolvency are still to be set in motion by the Parliament as far as the redressal form is concerned. Now you will find there's certain provisions of the arbitration or provisions of the Companies Act. In 2016, on 9 September 2016, notification has been issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, whereby long pending, that is delegate legislation of forming of rules in Companies Act being made. Section 442 of the Companies Act made a provision already by making a provision for constitution of mediation and conciliation panel. Also, Section 469 of the Companies Act enabled the central government to formulate the rules. But the situation came only in 2016, where you will find very interesting provisions for mediation. The panel qualifications for empanelment are provided in section or Rule 4 of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Under that Rule 4, you will find a person shall not be qualified for being empaneled as mediator or conciliation unless he has been a judge of the Supreme Court, or a judge has been a judge of the High Court, or has been a district session judge, member of register of the tribunal, or has been an officer of the Indian Corporate Law Service or Indian Legal Service of 15 years experience, then qualified legal practitioner for 10 years, and a chartered accountant 15 years standing, a company secretary, then a member of or president of the state consumer forum, or an expert in mediation or conciliation who has necessarily undergone. Now, under the Companies Act, there are two provisions made, where first provision is any pendency matter in the tribunal. Number two, the government itself making a reference to mediation. Now, under the rules also you will find the concept of mediation is fully embodied, unlike Section 89 references of mediation, where 90 days is provided. First is 60 days in the mediation and 30 days extension by the mediator himself. Otherwise, matter will be referred back to the court. Like that, Rule 19 says time limit for completion of mediation or conciliation in company matter. The process for any mediation or conciliation under these rules shall be completed within a period of 3 months from the date of appointment of expert or experts from the panel. Then after the expiry also, the termination will take place. But in appropriate case, on an application by the mediator or by the parties, in the time could be extended for another 3 months. That is provided under Rule 19. Confidentiality is also there. Parties to act in good faith is also there. One important feature in any mediation law, either in Section 89 court attached mediation or even Companies Act mediation at referred cases, protection of action taken in good faith is provided in the here under Rule 23. Mediator cannot be called in question by the court, compelled by summoned by the court. There is no provision for summoning of a mediator in any mediation proceedings at a later stage by the referral court, according to situation, and there is no communication between the mediator and the court. And then settlement agreement is there. If the settlement agreement is sent by the mediation center or mediator to the referral court, the order will be passed on the basis of the settlement taking place in the mediation proceeding. That is with reference to the new development of law in Companies Act. There is a panel of mediators appointed there also. In one important matter, in Arbitration Act, 2015 and 2019 are the 2 years which had radical changes in the arbitration. In 2015, I'll just take one piece of an example. In the Arbitration Act, section amendment took place in 2015 in section 36 and 34, if I read with your kind permission, the Arbitration Act, where the provisions of Section 36 are dealing with the enforcement of the award, and Section 34 deals with the application for setting aside the arbitral award. You know, the procedure to set aside the award is provided in Section 34 and application has to be filed. But enforcement of the decree, award passed by the arbitrator, is provided in Section 36. Now, the provision of Section 36 enforcement was actually inserted in 2015 amendment from with effect from 23/10/2015. I'll read the enforcement provision. Why I want to deal with the enforcement provision of Section 36 and Section 34 application for setting aside the award, and one more section I will read within the time framework of 1 hour. This Section 87 of the Arbitration Act, which also got amended by Act 33 of 2019, and the Supreme Court judgment in Hindustan Construction Company Limited versus UOI, and that was a judgment which struck down Section 87 amended by Act 33 of 2019 as unconstitutional. And now that I will explain to you in a nutshell without going into the provisions and reading to you, because you are all well versed than me. You have been dealing with arbitration cases for a long time. Now, under Section 36, the enforceability of the award was started by Section 36 once an application to set aside an award is filed under Section 34. Original provision under the up to 2015 was the parties getting a stay of the arbitral award only by the court. Now, under Section 87, amended from 2019, it was made an automatic stay once an application to set aside was filed under Section 34 before the court. Now that Section 87, according to Supreme Court, makes the provisions totally violative of natural justice and the right that one can enjoy in the matter of filing of appeal. Once an appeal is filed, the original position was, unless the court gives stay, the award is not stayed. But under Section 87, amended from 2019, and the provision lawmaker made the law by saying that the decree effect is automatically stayed till the matter is decided. So Supreme Court, that particular judgment in Hindustan Construction has held that this is not automatic stay of the award, merely you filed in Section 34 application. Now the arbitration conciliation, you will find adjudication akin to court is there. Only difference is the court gets itself detached. In mediation, court is having the file is in the court, docket is there in the court. It is without prejudice a right, a procedure, a choice given to the parties, either to go to the mediation center, present their case, get the help of the mediator, make dialogue, find out, iron out the differences if possible, or if it is not possible, come back to court and face the trial. So it's a without prejudice process. The mediation is without prejudice process. It is voluntary. It is not compulsory. It is confidential. It is a trust built on the mediator, and it is very, very flexible, very simple, and it also enables the parties to get the full refund of the court fee once the settlement is arrived at. You must know that it is not every matter that is capable of being referred to mediation. The mediation, the referral court looks into takes into the file and goes into the case prima facie. The relationship is to be maintained. The ongoing contact is to be maintained, and family cases are involved, or cases where no constitutional, no rules interpretation is involved, and no serious offenses are involved. It is a very flexible one to the court to advise the parties to approach mediation. One important point before we part with our today's has clearly held that it is a mandatory duty of all the courts in India to consider first section 89. So consider section 89 for reference is mandatory. Making but if the court is, then it is not in every case that reference has to be made. But if the court does not make a reference, I don't agree, no reference is necessary, no reference order is made, he shall give reasons as to why he is not making a reference. No? Therefore, mandatory duty of reference is provided under section 89. Supreme Court has clearly held in Afghan case that it is a mandatory duty of a mediator of the court, referral court, to take recourse to any of these alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, make the parties know about the possible way of settlement and possible way of outcome that could be arrived at if the parties want to decide that way and the other one way or other. So it without through this process. Now, there's one more important development of law that we are going to have. All India Mediation, that is Mediation Act, is likely to be in the statute soon. But a mediation bill is already there in the parliament, and the Honorable Supreme Court is seized over the matter, and our expert committee is also appointed all over India. Mr. Sriyam Panchu, Chitra Narayanan, mediators are there in the panel, and other members of the mediation in the other parts of the country are also there. So Supreme Court is monitoring that, and the matter will be decided by Honorable Supreme Court, and thereafter the Mediation Act will be passed. In the mediation, there has been some, you will find there has been some differences of enactment where mediation is a voluntary process, and the parties are at their own volition, and the self-determining nature is provided. But in that particular, the enactment bill, there is a slight deviation where the mediation is understood in a different way, and mediators are not only to be confined to legal fraternity, but others also to consider. Even Companies Act, you will find that even other than lawyers are also there in the panel, not mediators. So with that, I have the pleasure to conclude this particular way of thinking that I have tried to share with you about the system of ADR and decided by the Honorable Supreme Court. And if you require any answers from me on any doubt as per section 89 and the other 5 ADR.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir, please.
Thank you very much on this topic, sir. I mean, the session went on very smoothly.
Thank you.
I think Jay Kumar sir has one doubt. I'll unmute him so that he can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Venkataraman, you did a fantastic job
Thank
of
you.
bringing out all solutions.
Thank you.
I have one of the important points you mentioned is
Yes.
the trust of the mediator. Now, let's assume that I am appointed by the court
Yes.
and I take on mediation.
Yes.
On the date of hearing, I find one of the persons is known to me, one of the parties. What should I do?
No, you are a mediator appointed by the court.
Yes,
One of the parties.
is known to me. Okay, let's say Venkataraman is my party is in my presence.
No,
Not
no.
as an advocate.
Ah,
Venkataraman comes before me as a as party.
as
to
a
the
party.
case.
As a party.
Yes. So what do I do? So you trust me, I know, but there's a bias.
Bias.
But I go back to court.